I'm Eileen.
I'm Kevin.
Hi, I'm Leanne.
And I'm Ron.
And I'm Elena. I'm going to be your speaker tonight. When you look at me, what do you see? Do you see an independent, strong-willed person? Maybe you see someone who's, a little nerdy, maybe a bookworm, terrible fashion sense. But a lot of people, they see what's on the outside. They see my mousy brown hair, my blue eyes, my average height, and my average weight. The whole thing is this average weight is a recent thing. A couple of years ago, I used to be 242 pounds. I'm now 165. That's kind of a feat. My whole weight problem wasn't really a problem, but I began to notice it in elementary school. And it wasn't something that was really noticeable to me, but it was noticeable to others. And I didn't notice it until I started to hear the names. Things like, here comes Ellie the elephant, and thunder thighs, things like that. And it wasn't until I heard those names that I began to view myself that way, as Ellie the elephant. And when I began to view myself that way, it really hurt. And I began to bury my feelings in food. So I wasn't really helping the problem, I was making it worse. So I had this impulsive eating whenever I heard these names. But I also used the excuse that, what do I care what these people think? I mean, all I should care is about what I think. But at the same time, I did care. So, and this was like a cycling problem. I didn't really see it as a problem, but I knew it was a problem, and I didn't really realize how big I was getting until my early 20s. About 22, I was like, okay, enough is enough. And I looked at myself in the mirror and I say, it really is bad. And then I just realized how unhappy I was at the same time. And it was, some dark days. I'd sit in my room and I'd cry, and I realized that this is not a problem. It shouldn't be a problem. I can fix this problem. And this is how I fixed it. And it was small steps. I started eating less, smaller portions. I would look at my plate and I go, I need a smaller plate so that my portions would be less. And then from there, I decided that I was going to change, how I was eating. So not only were the portions smaller, but the food itself was healthier. So I went from a hefty-sized Arby's sandwich down to homemade bean patty, and a small side of fries. So I was changing my eating habits. And then, too, I was changing my exercise routine. I would go out for long walks. It started out maybe 2 miles, then it was 4 miles, and then it was 6 miles, and then it was 16 miles. And I would go until literally I felt like my feet would fall off. And after that, I was like, I'm gonna start making healthy goals. Eating good and exercising is great, but where am I going with this? So I started making these goals, like, okay, this week I'm going to lose 2 pounds. This week I'm going to lose 1. At the end of the month, it's going to be 10 pounds total. And I was really happy. I had my goals, I had a plan, it was working, and I was losing weight. I was losing 10, 20 pounds those first couple months. And two, when I was losing that weight, I was realizing that the problem wasn't so much the weight, it was psychological weight. And that was what had bogged me down in the past. So losing that 20 pounds, I was losing that 20 pounds up here too. And that was just, the freedom that gave me was just great. And it just, my frame of mind changed. And I was just so freeing for my person. So I realized that my weight was not only a physical problem, it was a mental problem too. But as you see me up here today at 165 pounds, I've gone through so many different steps. I've gone from being obese and unhappy to being happy and healthy. And I have goals now, and I've completed a lot. Not only have I lost that 77 pounds, but I've also ran in a 5K marathon. And I've also, I get a lot more looks, or double takes, from men in my life. And I never used to get that. And it just, looking back, I'm much happier now than I was in 2011.